controlling yourself, your avatar. You understand me? Your suit. And I think about that with being in life. You understand me? Like when you in your emotions, how much condensed you feel trapped within yourself. Like, damn, I can't do nothing. Like, ah. You understand? You angry. You trying to get out. You throwing punches because you are being controlled by your own simulation at this point. So being able to live from the crown chakra, which is the seat house of intuition and reason and logic, right? And rationality and mathematical intelligence, that's controlling yourself from here. And then the higher you can live above here, it's like now you have that ultimate level of power and enlightenment. And so what they went further on though within the show, they showed how what he was missing and he didn't realize he was missing. They said that, and it's funny because this show really goes to the story of the Anunnaki and the planets passing. And they said that basically the story was that at one point in time, this is definitely a spoiler alert for people who ain't seen it, that the planets, they kind of kissed, that they planet and the alien planets at one point in time, their energy signatures had merged. And what happened was there was a certain percentage of people on the alien planet that felt what it was like to be human, and there was a certain amount of people on the human planet felt what it's like to be alien. And those became the superior beings on that planet. So the aliens were not just operating from a point of logic, now they got creativity and imagination. Because there was a part where the brother was like, wait a minute, how, because he only know how to get orders and move up orders. But the sister was able to create something completely from her imagination. And he was astonished, like, you created that from your imagination? And then that's when he realized the thing that I was missing was the human. And he was basically telling him, crack open that third eye, man, let that in. And once he did that, he was able to solve the problem that he had an issue with. But they were saying that, what can happen though, because if we look at some of the smartest people within culture, they don't often have like a human personality. They like joy of emotions and spirit.
They're very mechanic.
Very mechanic. But imagine if that same person could also be charismatic, creative and move. Wouldn't that be the full envelopment of a human being at its highest power? That a person is completely intelligent in one area and also in the other area.
That would be what's considered to be superconscious, right? The merging, the masterful merging, or the hemi-syncing of the right and the left hemisphere, which is the masculine and the feminine. You know what I'm saying?
So
or the right and the left brain. Yeah. So the right and the left brain, masculine and feminine, logic and reason, right, and intuitive creativeness. The feminine brain. The ability to be intuitive, but also, dealing with logic, dealing with reason, you know what I'm saying, dealing with reading. Oh, I got primary sources. I don't got a primary source. I'm downloaded, right? So you see a lot of the quote-unquote teachers, coming in the community now, they're telling people about 2 trillion year cosmic history, and they like, who did you study under?
Right.
They like, bro, I got this through astral traveling. Like, I got a straight download. There's no primary sources. You feel me? But can we say yay or nay? I mean, the anthologies are thorough. You like, either these dudes should sign up for Pixar, right? You know what I'm saying? And go write movies for Lucas, or they might be over.
But the imagination is a valid place for you to get concrete evidence.
Right. So the access to imagination, our ability to access the imagination is what separates us from other species and what have you. The story that it sounds like they're telling about the brother who fell to earth is the same story the AI is going through with something called AGI. You know what I'm saying? Artificial generated intelligence, where now they're saying that this particular level of quote-unquote artificial intelligence is able to access a semblance of what it means to be conscious and make decisions on its own based on being able to feel and emote, right? So in essence, the same thing that the alien species went through, the same thing that the human species went through. Let's follow the narrative to say if we were seeded here by another species, right? These are the things that we went through when we got here, the adaptability factor. How do I use feelings and compassion? They showed it on the movie After Earth. When Jaden, was feeling the fear, he had to conquer these particular, again, dysfunctional deformalities in order to survive in unfamiliar terrain. You got to get yourself, you got to get your mind clear so you can see things for what they are. and not what your fear body's telling you that they might be.
Now,
Because you all operating on false narrative.
all right, so HemiSync. I want to get back to HemiSync.
Okay.
And you know, basically, you got the CIA Gateway tapes when they were studying, you know, psychic abilities, right? The CIA has always been interested in studying, you know, the ability to hack the human mind, right? And the limits or the limitless of the human brain, right? This goes back from inception of the CIA. It goes all the way to Alan Turing, right? Alan Turing can be known as the father of the modern, you know, AI or algorithm, right?
Yes.
He was a white boy from England who was also a homosexual, and they didn't recognize him because of his sexual lifestyle. But when, you know, he published these papers basically modeling the ideas of algorithms and artificial intelligence.
They couldn't ignore him.
Right. And a lot of these programs that the CIA started to run, where it was the MK Ultra, the MK Kitty programs, where they were studying how to control the human mind, whether it was through sex, whether it was through frequency, vibration. They had all of these programs that were known by the public in the 70s and 60s.
Right.
LSD, that it was published in the newspaper that this is what they were doing.
Right.
And eventually it was supposedly said, and now of course the movie Stranger Things was about that, the show rather.
Right.
It was supposedly shut down, right? That they made some progress, but they shut it down because, you know, it was too controversial at the time, right? Mm-hmm. Shut it down. You did. But anyway, during that time they had the HemiSync tapes, and what they were studying was how to maximize the capacity of the human brain, right? And what they learned was that they could, you know, play certain frequencies in certain parts of the ear. So one frequency will be playing in the other ear, another one start listening in the other ear. So you got your left and your right brain. And at a certain point in time, they start shifting with each other, and it starts syncing both left and right hemisphere of the brain, right? And they talked about basically getting you up to that peak state, which was in the gamma frequency, which was 40 hertz.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, once you want to like calm down and you're in relaxation, you listen to more 6 hertz, right? When you're in dream state and imagination. And so, you know, the average person doesn't, we listen to all kind of frequencies nowadays. People listen to 9,000 to 432 to 440, just, we go frequency crazy. But we don't actually know how to entrain ourselves and to go through the process of listening to frequencies in a way where it can actually unlock the human brain, and your left and right hemisphere of your brain is connected.
Right. Oscillation.
So when we look at a lot of those things that went viral back in the day, where it was like, yo, do you see the dress as red, or you see it as green, right? It was because either saying that you are more attuned to your left side or your right side, right? But what happens when you're attuned with both sides and they are in sync with each other? Now your whole brain is connecting dots and seeing things from a more spherical manner rather than a square box, or I'm only seeing through my ego, or I'm only seeing through creativity. No, now we're both synced up, and now we can maximize